the discussion. Now, any one of you can start, and altogether you have about 10 minutes for the discussion. Okay? Right.
So I think that this all boils down to one point, is that family really has a great influence on teenagers. So what do you all think?
But you see, you know, we as students, students, I think we spend more time in school rather than anywhere else. Practically 12 hours in a day we spend outside the house, may it be tuition or whatnot. So, you know, I think everywhere you go, friends play a much bigger role in influencing us.
Exactly, because like since we spend so much time with friends, their opinion begins to count even more than your parents' opinions. And you asked the question, which was, if your parents said you had to buck up in your studies and your friends told you, if your parents said that you were lousy in your studies and your friends said you were lousy in your studies, which one would you respond to more? Obviously your friends, right?
Why? Because I think it's like your friends is, you know, we have this image that we want to take care outside the house, you know, not if my mom were to say, Elaine, you've been watching too much TV, you know, stop. And because, you know, it's really affecting your studies. But then I'll be thinking, I can do it later, no mom, kind of thing. So, I don't know, friends. And because friends are usually in our same group, so I suppose we take what they say more seriously.
But whatever is said and done, I still agree with what Elaine said earlier, that regarding the mass media. So I feel that mass media like television and radio plays a very important role in influencing teenagers compared to those of parents and friends. Because mass media, that's where they spend most of their time. In fact, most teenagers nowadays, if you look statistically, they are the ones most patrioting the theatres, shopping complex and things like that. So they practically every day they're glued down to their TV. So this way they receive all their bad influence or good influence. So what do you think about that?
If you're talking about movies and going shopping and all, I think it's the same as like going out with your friends as well, if you want to talk about it that way. Yeah, because you go to movies with who? Your friends. Your friends influence you to go to all these places. It's not the movies like, come here and watch us like that.
Yeah, and I guess it is more, you know, it is more happening if you do what your friends do.
Yeah, but then don't you think that family-wise, like if you have a problem, maybe your friends can't solve it, your family also plays an important part. You usually go to your parents and ask, what's this advice? When you go everywhere, if you're alone, if you don't have your friends, who influences you in your thinking? Your parents' advice.
Okay, I can agree with that to a certain point. But then, what happens when you have girl problems and you have to confide in someone? Would you go to your parents?
Okay, if I was a guy, I would go to my dad and ask for advice, because he's been through our time.
No, but you see, what they went through is not not the same what we are going through right now.
There's a generation gap.
Yeah, there's a generation gap, and it's quite. I think it's
but
quite.
Don't you think that parents nowadays, they're more into what we do? Also, they listen to some of the songs we listen on the radio as well. They watch movies that we watch as well.
I think I totally disagree with your point. This is because I have few reasons to support it. See, teenagers nowadays, they go through a lot of changes in their life. Firstly, we speak scientifically, they go through hormonal changes. Could parents understand this kind of hormonal changes? I doubt it. They always expect something from their children, something good, not something bad. But they fail to realize that through these hormonal changes, something bad could also be expected from their children. So when this something bad comes out from their children, they can't go back to their parents. Don't you think so? They definitely have to go back to friends who are the same age with them. So your point is totally out of the point.
Especially when all the pressure comes from the parents and the family himself. Where are they to turn to? If your dad says, well, you shouldn't be hanging out with your friends so much, and then that's a problem. Are you going to confide in your parents about that problem because they implemented that rule?
But you know, I think these four factors, in a way, they do influence us.
They correlate, is it?
Yeah, no, as in they play.
Contribute.
Yeah, they do influence us. We can't say that only friends influence us, because, for instance, well-known personalities like The Rock. I mean, you have your small children going around now doing the rock bottom and all, what not.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I have a brother. Okay, so I think to some certain extent, but let's all let's think more. Not until so wide. I think in a way, friends play the most role, the most important role in influencing us. Especially.
But I think I disagree with your statement that friends plays the most important. The word "the most important" there, I think it doesn't suit that sentence.
Okay, so what do you think?
Because I feel that many other aspects you got to look into, you got to analyze carefully before you coming to a conclusion. Like friends playing the most important. You see, right? It differs totally from the topic.
Okay.
I feel that well-known personalities, as she said initially, play a very important role. You see, how this collaborates with teenagers are very simple. When these kind of well-known personalities, they attract the attention of teenagers. Okay, firstly, they do stunts like fighting. Okay, in another scene, Eminem, who is released his album lately, The Stand. It's about his girlfriend, and something killing herself or something like that. So these teenagers, when they look this kind of thing, and when they probably have love failure or something, they too tend to do the same thing. That is to probably commit suicide or something. So the effect there is even greater compared to friends, as what you said. What do you think about that?
That's quite true, because.
But can I just defend my one for a while? Okay, you see, but actually when we have failure in our relationships. Okay, we do listen to very sad songs and all, but in a way, I think we still go back to communication with people, which is with real people. Could it be your family, your friends? But
it's more solid.
Yeah, it's more, you can have a two-way communication in that way. So
okay, I feel all of y'all have various different aspects and things y'all are stressed about. Okay, but in conclusion, what do y'all actually think is the most important point that affects teenagers or influence teenagers nowadays?
In my opinion, I think all these influences, that we all just discussed, contribute fairly. Though not in the same amount, but they do contribute to this. The influences on teenagers. But then, we can't really say that. Well, friends are the most influential, because under different circumstances, there will be a different amount of influence.
Well, I can see that all of y'all have different aspects of what y'all are trying to stress out about the influence teenagers get nowadays. But then, we cannot just come to a summary that there's a most influence or something like that. What do you agree about that, Jason?
Now, in my opinion, I think all these influences that we just discussed just now, they contribute in one way or another,
Sure.
though not in the same amount.
True.
So we can't really say, friends are the most influential on us, because we can't just allocate 25% family, 25% friends, 25% and so on.
Yeah.
So if under different circumstances, the amount of influence these four factors have on us vary.
Yeah, in fact, I totally agree with what Jason says, because it depends on the individual actually, on that particular teenager. Okay, if he's a person who always listens to the family and things like that, so he wouldn't have problems with his
He would be
with his
influenced by
parents.
his family.
Yeah,
True.
okay, and vice versa for other things and all. So what do you think about that?
I think, actually, I begin to think that it is true that all these four factors are same amount of influence, to us. So we are actually saying that these four factors do influence us, depending on the situation that the teenager is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, to add to what she's saying, I think finally a perfect individual will be formed if that particular person can cope with all this kind of influence, and that's where there's a champion kind of teenager who is a real good teenager will be formed. What do you all think?
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Okay. Have you anything else to say?
Then I think in conclusion, I think that all the 4 factors have an important influence to teenagers in their life.
Okay, 10 minutes is up. We've enjoyed listening to you all. Thank you.